is just gonna be a video of gratitude. I'm so thankful for everything. Happy Thanksgiving, book besties, and welcome back to another video. I personally am very thankful for each and every one of you who spend the time watching my videos. To commemorate this lovely holiday, I thought it would be a really fun idea to talk about some of the books that I'm most thankful for and that have made a very big impact on me throughout my life. So let's get started. We're going to go in like chronological order of when I read these books, and I will kind of tell you how they had an effect on me. So, starting off strong with my favorite children's book. Yeah, we're going back that far. The Hundred Dresses by Eleanor Estes and illustrated by Louis Slobodkin. I don't know. So basically, this book is about a little girl who goes to school, and you can tell that she's like wearing the same dress every single day, kind of alluding to the fact that like her family probably doesn't have much money in the book. But she always says when she comes to school, I have 100 beautiful dresses all lined up in my room. And the other girls kind of like make fun of her because obviously like she's wearing the same dress every day. Like, what do you mean that you have 100 dresses? Anyways, it just kind of talks about this story of this little girl and her life. Basically, the reason why I'm including this is because I think this is the first book that ever made me feel something and kind of sparked my interest in reading. I just remember thinking like, wow, books can actually evoke emotion in you. We were in the library in elementary school, and the librarian read this book to us, and it just had the biggest impact on me. And it's actually a really special book to me now. When we found out we were pregnant, a few months later at Christmas, we do this sibling gift exchange with both of our families. And my sister-in-law on my husband's side, we're really close. And from this random conversation that we had, we were talking about our favorite books from childhood. And she had written down the books that me and my husband mentioned in that conversation years and years ago. And then when we found out we were pregnant, she bought all of our favorite children's books and gave them to us for Christmas that year. And to this day, that's probably like one of my favorite gifts that I've ever received. That was just so thoughtful. And the fact that she wrote all those down just meant so much to me. And seriously, when I opened that at Christmas, I just started like crying. I think that obviously books are part of everyone's life, but especially for me, I knew that these books had like a very big impact on me in my life. And now I'm so happy that I have this book and I can read it to my kids. And that's such a full circle moment for me. These next books I sadly don't have anymore because I read them anywhere between the ages of like 9 and 13 years old. So the first series that I ever read in my entire life holds a very special place in my heart. That series is Ali Finkel's Rules for Girls. I remember reading this series, and it was the first time I was ever so enthralled by a series that I just needed to read more. And I felt like I just related so personally to Ali Finkel. Like, she just got me, which is like so funny to think now. This was the first series that I was not able to put down. And I would like beg my mom to take me to the library so that we could check out these books. And then eventually, I think we just bought them all. That holds a very special place in my heart for that reason. I really want to get these books and the next books that I'm talking about back on my shelf again, because I would just love to be able to have these books, especially if I do have a daughter one day, to be able to like talk about these books with her and read these books with her. Honestly, they're probably so outdated now though. There's probably stuff in them that is like so not applicable to kids now. I don't care. I'm gonna make her read them. I would love to get all of these books. They were so nostalgic for me. The next series that I kind of got into when I was a little bit older was the Windy Mass Willow Falls series. I loved these books. I had all of these too. I think there were 5 of them, and they felt like a little more mature than like the books that I had been reading, and I felt like so cool for that for some reason. It was like a magical realism series, and that was like the first time I had ever dipped my toe into like a book that isn't 100% realistic. And so I think this kind of transitioned me into books that were like a little different than what I was used to. Fantasy realism. I kind of honestly give this series credit for me getting into like my dystopian like teen series. And I think you might know where this is going. And when I tell you, when we start getting into these physical copies that I've had since that time, they are so beat up. Like, these are the most loved books on my shelves, and you can tell because they literally look rough. The next book is The Hunger Games. It is like an unhealthy obsession, especially now that we're getting like more prequel books out. It has reignited this obsession that I had with these books when I was a teenager. I think this was like the first time I felt like a part of something through reading, if that makes any sense, because so many people at school were reading this. My sister was also obsessed with these books, and I remember we went to like the Hunger Games movie and we both dressed up like Katniss. Legit. This is so embarrassing. This is honestly embarrassing. This is bringing out like nerd me from, I think the movie came out when I was like 12. I need to fact check that. When did the Hunger Games movie come out? Okay, yeah. March 23rd, 2012. So when this came out, I was actually only 11 years old. My mom is calling me. I'll call her back. Me and my sister were all black. I had a leather jacket that my mom had gotten me for like Christmas to like go with this dress that I had. And I like wore it with like the black. And my sister was really good at braiding hair. And she braided all my hair like Katniss's. And we just like sat in that movie and we were so excited. We were pretty sure we were just crying. There was like a few movies that my parents would let us go to like the midnight showings, like when we were really, really young. That was like all the Harry Potters, all the Pirates of the Caribbean, and all the Hunger Games. Like we went and saw the midnight showings for all of them. And those are honestly some of my like favorite memories, like with my families, like going to these midnight showings of these movies. Now I have them all in hard copy on my shelf, but this is like the OG one that I started with, and it is just so nostalgic for me. I like reread them every time a new one comes out, and it's like my favorite thing ever. So when the new movie comes out for Sunrise on the Reaping, we're gonna have to talk again because it is so like, I'm pretty sure Hunger Games just, like, takes over my life whenever the new movie comes out. Like, seriously, I make my husband, like, rewatch all of the movies with me. It's, like, my favorite thing ever. I wasn't reading a ton anymore in high school, but I would read books here and there, usually when I had to for class. That's honestly disappointing. I wish I had kept up with it more because I know there would be so many other books that I would love to have read back then, but I think I just, like, kind of forgot that I enjoyed reading or kind of got more interested in other stuff. One that I did have to read in high school, though, for, like, summer reading that is, like, one of my favorite books to this day, The Glass Castle. I love this book so much. I think this was, like, one of the first times that I realized that true stories didn't have to be, like, horrible to read. This book blew my mind. I lent this out to people and obviously it got wrecked. I kept it still because it is seriously one of my favorite books in the world. I think it just showed me the difference in human experiences, like how different people's lives really can be. You think like, oh yeah, like people can have like hard times in life, but realizing there's like so many people out there who are living in conditions that like we cannot really even comprehend from the types of lives that we've had. And I think it really opened my eyes to people's different perspectives and life experiences. This was honestly such an inspiring book as well, kind of showing like, okay, no matter where you started off, you can really become whoever you want to be. I think that was like the first time in a really long time that I had had a book speak to me like that. And this is also an incredible movie. Normally, I feel like movies just aren't as good as the books, but in this case, like both were seriously incredible. And this is like making me want to go watch it again. I have talked about this in past videos already during my whole high school reading slump. I really didn't get back into reading until I got married, and that is fully due to my husband, who got me this book for our honeymoon, which is The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. And if I'm correct, yeah, he had read this copy on his own. He loves a Nicholas Sparks book. I don't know if that's like exposing him, but I think he would be fine. I give this full credit for getting me back into reading, which I am so endlessly grateful for. We got married on July 29th of 2022. And so that is definitely when I read this. For our honeymoon, we went to Lake Powell and I read this entire thing in like a day or two. So then we road tripped like a week after that from Idaho to South Carolina. And in that drive, I'm pretty sure I read 3 books on that drive because this just reignited all of my love for reading. It's honestly such a good book. Like the story is just like such a genuine true love, and it just is so sweet. All of these next ones I've read within the past few years, and I have just loved them for so many different reasons. And so the next one is When in Rome by Sarah Adams. Honestly, this isn't shocking for most of you if you are not new to my channel, but if you are, I'm obsessed with Sarah Adams. I think this kind of got me into these like small town closed door romances, and they're some of my favorite books in the world. Sarah Adams' books just remind me of falling in love, and it's my favorite feeling in the world. And I feel like they just make me even more grateful for like my husband and my relationship, which is kind of funny, but it's true. And I love just a book that makes you so joyous and happy that it reminds you of falling in love. Next on my list is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book honestly spoke to me in so many ways. The book is about this girl who finds herself in this place between life and death, where she's in this huge library, and each book represents a different path she could have taken in her life. I don't want to spoil anything, but the realizations that she came to at the end of the book were honestly super inspiring and made me just remember to be grateful for life and be confident in the decisions I made, and realizing that my life might not be perfect, but if I didn't make the decisions that I did, I wouldn't be the person who I am today. And I'm very happy about the person who I am today. So that is why I'm thankful for this book. I don't want to give everything away, and I can't say much without having too many spoilers, but I highly recommend this book. Next is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. And I think that if you are familiar with like BookTube, Bookstagram, like any of the book social medias, then you've definitely heard of Frederick Bachman. I feel like most of the time you hear about Beartown. Anxious People has had such a profound effect on me when I read this. And there were so many parts where I like either wanted to like cry, or I was so personally touched or mind blown, honestly. And what spoke out to me from this book is how interconnected all of our lives and experiences are in this world. Honestly, I think this shows that people are a lot more similar than they are different, and I really appreciate that point of view. Also, I think that this kind of showed me that, like, honestly, everyone is fighting their own battles. Everyone has their own stories and struggles. And again, kindness is so crucial to life. Like, on the back of this book, it says this book captures the messy essence of being human. And I think that that is like the most perfect description of this book. It is so human, so real. It makes you just realize, like, again, how interconnected we are. All of these lives are so perfectly intertwined, and all of the things that people go through in life. It's really eye opening, and I feel like it made me look at the world differently. My books are falling. And the last book that I'm going to be talking about today, I recently read it on my channel, so you might not be surprised to see it. But the last book we are going to be talking about is The Wedding People by Allison Espach. What I loved about this book was how it kind of reminded me and taught me how to love myself and love life. And I think that those are beautiful reminders that we don't get enough in books. And there were so many things that I highlighted from these books that seriously just spoke to me. And I've thought about this book seriously every single day since I've read it. It has helped me see the beauty in life around me, the beauty in myself, the beauty in others. And it really just helps you realize that, like, if you are not happy with something in your life, that you have the ability and the power to change your circumstances. And I think that that is such a powerful message. Okay, book besties, I didn't really get into the descriptions of these books, but I didn't want to focus as much on what they were about as much as I wanted to talk about the effect that they had on me and why I'm so grateful for these books. Obviously, I gave these all 5 stars. Anyways, I hope you all have an amazing Thanksgiving. Spend time with your friends and family. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that you're thankful for them. And once again, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And I want to know all of the books that you really love and the books that you're thankful for in your life. Please comment them down below. I would love to read them. And I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.